I'll just take a quick roll call. Jason? Jason's here.
Here, sorry, I was
No,
muted.
no worries. Rob? Rob is not present right now. Phoebe won't be here. Jeff, myself, I'm here. Steve?
Yeah, I'm here.
Michael Kruger, he's unpresent as well. Mike Powell?
Here.
Eric? Not here either. Aaron? And Nate?
Yep, here.
Okay. Oh, that looks to be Eric. Okay, can you guys see the agenda?
Oh, Kim.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'll just keep an eye on who comes in. We do need either Rob or Aaron to officially approve the minutes. But did you guys have any questions on this? It was a pretty short meeting. It was following our strategic planning. Okay, let's just drop into new business. We'll approve that once we get Aaron or Rob on. Do you guys have any questions on this? Plan to officially adopt this at next month's meeting. I didn't feel that we were quite ready. We'll give it another month for us to review. I guess the one comment that I made was for us to remove some of our kind of our role inherent goals in here, and that's strictly a personal choice. But so you can see that I did edit mine. There was one of them that was like facilitate board meetings. I felt that didn't belong in there because that's kind of just one of the things you do as a president. So so feel free to kind of edit this as you will, and get your stuff updated. But yeah, I do like the comments that we had in there before, or the comments that we've had in there. So I don't know if you guys had any questions on it, or if there's something that's missing.
Yeah, I think Jeff, I think it looks good so far. I mean, like we kind of talked about at the retreat. Just I wonder the work plan should probably be kind of reined in and dialed in for that existing year versus just those standard responsibilities. But I understand that there's certain aspects of the responsibilities that need to be stated, but yeah, I just think that elsewhere we can have kind of our standard chair responsibilities or standard responsibilities as a board. But the work plan, I think historically it's been kind of an overview of expectations. But I think if we can, if somebody outside, like a Magip member, were to view this, I think it should probably be viewed as like, okay, what's going on, within this 21, 22, year, and have folks kind of be able to just to review everyone's goals for the year. It's just a little different than our regular responsibilities. So I think it looks good though so far. I made some edits for mine, but yeah, looks good.
Okay. Yeah, I do agree with that there, Jason. Um, that it should be looked upon as goals for the upcoming year. And I mean, we do have that chair responsibilities document, and Michael Kruger actually just updated as well. So, and I'll try to put it directly on the website, so it shows up as new, kind of like the budget does. So, I'm not even sure if it's even on here as the board info. It might be right here. I think this is it. Hopefully this is the current one. No, it's the old one. So I'll put that on my list to update that link.
Because this one was revised June 9th.
Oh, no, right there. 6/9/2021. Maybe this is the one that Michael just updated. Yeah, I think it is. So I'll just update the date on that because that's greater than 6/19. So I'll have to see what Michael, if he'd updated the date on that or not. Okay. Okay, so yeah, just a reminder to look at that draft plan over again and make any tweaks to your goals, or feel free to comment on any of our other goals that we have throughout the work plan. So,
I got a question.
Yeah, go for it.
And this is just for me actually, but since I'm doing the strategic planning session, I'm planning for next year.
Mm-hmm.
What time frame are we looking for? Is that something that I could just start making phone calls to certain places now? Or do I need to come up with some spots and then an approval from the board? Or
So I'm trying to remember. I don't think I really started the planning for it until like April or May or June.
are we still planning on what was last month, October?
September, yeah.
September, so we're still planning on a September date then?
Yeah, and that's also another good question too. I think we only have 2 board positions coming up, 2 or 3. I think it's 3 board positions. So we won't have as many board positions coming new. I think we had 5 this year. So yeah, I mean, that's up to the group. I mean, we can certainly talk about it in coming meetings. But is it more beneficial to have it in June? It's probably more challenging from a planning perspective. I know when I started planning it, kind of getting it towards the end of wedding season and all that, there wasn't as much competition for a site. But if you start talking about June, July, you kind of have to plan out further for a location. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we can certainly talk about it in the coming months. But yeah, it's probably nothing that should be on your radar now, but maybe just in the back of your mind.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I still don't see Eric or Aaron. Nate, do you want to talk about our next item? We're not going to be able to officially do any approval off of it, but maybe if we can just.
Which Eric are you asking about?
Oh, not sorry, not Eric, Nate.
Oh, okay. I was just like, I can't vote, but I can, if someone gave me their proxy, I'd be more than happy to, but I'm just sitting here listening, becoming an expert in cross domain references or some stupid thing like that I need for Portal to work better for me. So
well, we're working on trying to change that so you can vote.
I know. Yeah. Well.
So Nate, do you want to go ahead and some of the issues that you're having with Wells Fargo and the?
Yeah. So through this entire process of trying to become the executive on the account and getting a signer added, it's been quite the process. And just realizing that we didn't have a signer on the account for about a month is probably not a good thing. And so I talked to Jeff briefly about it too, but I was wondering if we wanted to have, so the key executive who would be the treasurer and then 2 signers on the account, who would be the treasurer, and then possibly Michelle from Full Scope, because she would kind of span that gap whenever there was a change on the account. And then the vice president, we could give viewing privileges to the account, which would provide that oversight we wanted. And yeah, I guess I just wanted to hear what people thought about going in that direction.
Well, that's different than what we were planning on, right? We weren't planning on Michelle doing and getting in there initially, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And why the change?
Because to get someone else added as a signer, it's just going to be, it's just a lot of work to do, I guess, because I think we would have to meet up and go to Wells Fargo in person to make that happen. Or I think there's a way of notarizing a letter to send back and forth and get you added as a signer. Yeah. And Michelle mentioned that she's the signer on other organizations she works for. And so.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem to me, but I just was, I was just wondering why the change all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, here's a good example too. I mean, we were unable to even sign for anything at the retreat, just because of the transition took so long.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is because of the pandemic issue or if it's just, well, and I did talk to Michelle about this, maybe it was the person on the account. They just had more of a strict protocol to get this done. But I mean,
I will tell you it's pretty standard procedure in at least most of the other associations we work with, for the treasurer to be the key executive, and then because you can only have one key executive, and then to have at least 2 other people as signers on the account. And myself and Michael, who works for other associations, we are signers on some of those. I think the only one that I'm not a signer, no, actually I am. I just became a signer on the International Association too. So I am a signer on all the other accounts. And what that allows for is just a little bit of continuity, like Nate said. So when you do, as your board transitions over, you still at least have one person that's always kind of static. So it just provides some continuity or a good backup, I guess. And along those lines, Nate, and I'm hoping this is another thing that crossed in the mail, but I just got this yesterday, I think, another notice from Wells Fargo, but it says it's the second notice, action required to avoid closure. We found inaccurate or missing information, but we feel like we've gotten that taken care of, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I talked to our tax person today, and they talked to Wells Fargo to clarify what kind of business we are. So.
Got it. Oh, I saw that. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to get rid of this then. I just wanted to make sure their mail must be really delayed because it keeps crossing over.
What an ordeal.
It is.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Well, if you need me to be anywhere, just let me know. I mean, if I have to be there in person, I'll make a trip.
And it can be done remotely. Like I just added a signer, but the key executive has to facilitate it. It can all be done remotely, but there's got to be forms have to be filled out and notarized by the key executive.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, just let me know.
Okay.
Hey, sorry that's been such an ordeal for you to have to deal with. I know that from the Wells Fargo correspondence side on my end, I don't have access anymore. Kind of those emails I shared with you and Michelle earlier, I do still receive correspondence. It's just, God, it's so unfortunate that a transition like this, especially now, it seems to be a very common, long, drawn out affair. And certainly for a 2-year term on an executive, it kind of takes up the full half your first year almost. It's a bit of a process, it seems.
Yeah, it kind of does take up at least like, it seems like 6 months of it.
Yeah, and
You
so
almost have to transition, you almost have to start the process of transitioning the new treasurer in like a few months before they actually get voted in or come in.
Well, that's hard to do because our election,
Exactly.
our election process is kind of, bang bang, and then you take office. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
so adding the viewer to the account, like they have like full access to the account so they can see the unopened bank statements and any activity on the account. And so that is really easy to do. I can just add anyone's email address and then they set up a password to gain access that way. And so the big deal is getting a signer on the account, which takes up most time. And so possibly having Michelle as a signer would provide that continuity between positions.
So I imagine we'd have to basically start that whole process over again if we were to essentially add you as the key executive. I guess then because who's the key executive on there now?
So I'm the key executive
Okay.
and a signer on the account. And so
Okay.
it would just be adding one more signer.
Okay.
Right, and that was supposed to be me, but we're going with Michelle now.
So you could have two. I mean, if you wanted, you could have the key executive and then 2 additional signers.
Well, either way, if I'm a viewer, that's fine too. I mean, I think that's a good thing for the VP to do is, just for back looking at the counts and stuff for back checking and stuff.
I mean, the only other thing to consider is if Nate is out of commission and we need like the full scope invoice paid, like I would not want to sign off on a bill to us. So that would be, I mean, I could do everything else, but if it's a payment to us, that's where a second signer might come into play because.
Sure.
That's a good point.
Because just, I would not feel comfortable and I don't think you would want me to sign a payment to full scope.
Okay. Well, maybe let's just table this until next month and we'll just think about this a little further if we want to add essentially, well, it would be adding 2 additional signers potentially, Michelle and say Mike. Okay, let's just think about this. I mean, we can't vote it on anyway because we don't have quorum, so.
Yeah, and Nate, I think what that would require is you just going into your branch and saying, I want to add 2 signers. They give you the form. You fill out the pieces you need to, and then the form comes to Mike and I, and then we fill those out and get them back to you. And then I think you have to notarize them and send them back. So it can all happen remotely. It's just a little bit of moving around of paperwork, but it's doable.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on. We could potentially approve the minutes and reinstate this next item over survey after the meeting. But so let's talk about the next item, reinstate the local government SIG and appoint the chair. So this kind of came from our talking over after the strategic planning, and I did kind of talk with Tommy, and he kind of got the go ahead with his county commission. So there's kind of 2 things that we'd have to do here. We'd have to first reinstate the local government SIG because it's kind of inactive right now, and then we could appoint Tommy as the chair. So I don't know if everyone has any thoughts on that, or if Tommy wants to chime in.
I know this is Steve here. Since I kind of sort of helped initiate the special interest group, I think I honestly, between this board and I'm on some other volunteer committees, I just don't have the capacity to run a special interest group. And Tommy's been pretty vocal and proactive and real interested in doing this. So Jeff and I talked and thought Tommy would be a great person to kind of lead the charge there. He's pretty well known around the state and I know Madison County's been doing a lot of GIS development, and so he probably has a lot to speak to there. So I would love if Tommy could kind of take the wheel of that and keep things going.
Yeah, and so I think we talked about this several meetings ago, but there's pros and cons of just having this as kind of an informal working group or a user group, or keeping it under the framework of Magip. But I think the first route that we kind of tried was doing it under the membership development. So I mean, I think this is kind of second go at it, and I think we can certainly have essentially have Tommy run it and then a report to the board. So that's kind of how the special interest groups would work. The only requirement would be that the members would have to be Magip members. So there is kind of pros and cons of keeping it under Magip, or kind of keep it informal. But
So I have a question in regards to that then. All attendees for the meetings have to be Magip members? Is that what I'm understanding?
yeah, more or less.
Tommy, the idea there was just to try and give some member-specific benefits to joining Magip, kind of a recruitment tool that if you join Magip, you'll have access to this special interest group. But I think we could certainly be flexible if there's someone with extenuating circumstances that wants to participate that's not a member.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one thing is if you push it out to the listserv. I mean, I know there's a lot of people on the listserv that aren't Magip members. So say, like, I think some of the Esri folks are Magip members, but say we're bringing in them for a guest or just an attendee, it just wouldn't. They just wouldn't have access to some of the discussion forum and that sort of thing if we were to use this platform. But yeah, I mean, I think I talked to you about this, Tommy. I don't think we would prohibit somebody from like attending the meeting, but I think some of the limitations of, that's just one of the things that you kind of get. It's just one of your benefits is having an interest to, or having access to the special interest groups, which we haven't had them active lately though. So.
Yep. Beautiful. I'm looking forward to the group and looking forward to working with you all on it. And yeah.
Okay. So we'll just do this offline through a survey since we can't kind of officially act on this within the capacity of of who's attending. So, okay, let's just keep moving on. GIS Day activities. Does anyone have any thoughts of what we should do? It's coming up, I think, less than a month from now.
Who knows what day it is?
November 17th?
Is it the 17th?
Maybe.
Is there a prize involved there?
Yeah, 17th.
Yeah, it is November 17th.
That's my sister's birthday. I will get her something that's GIS related.
Oh, there you go.
Megan, I haven't really participated much in the past GIS Day, so I might be leaning on you pretty heavily on ideas and support, since you're pretty experienced in that realm. Kind of my 2 cents right now.
Just generally in the past, bare minimum, we've held a map contest, map an app. So, I mean, that could be bare minimum that you take on, and I can help with that. I would definitely love to have other people's involvement and not have the burden be completely on me, because I just don't have the time and capacity to handle it all myself this year. Other than that, I mean, there's always the option for local meetups. I think they would have to be, I don't know. The state's opening up. I don't know about others' situations, but they could be virtual meetups as well. So those are like the 2 things we've done in the past. this being as late as it is, it's doubtful that we'd be able to get anything from Esri at this point for swag. We still have quite a bit, but usually with the web map competition, we just give them a prize of money.
Cool. That's good background to have, actually, Megan. Thank you. No, I'm happy to help kind of coordinate, especially if it's just a map contest. I think it would be fun to have some other events, but everyone's bandwidth's pretty limited. So maybe we'll follow up via email and brainstorm ideas that aren't too crazy and difficult to pull off.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I know last year we did that virtual GIS day, but on Discord, but not sure if we want to try that again or if it was just too much work for the amount of participation that we got back. I don't know. We're probably not going to have one here in Helena, or at least I don't know of anyone that wants to do GIS day here in Helena. But I mean, I think and we haven't had any requests for money like we had in the past. So I don't know if any of you guys are wanting to host one in your local towns.
Jeff, I'm going to look a little more into it because I wasn't aware that I would be helping with GIS day after getting that work plan. So I'm just going to need a little time to think about it and digest all the information that Esri has and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, like Megan said, I think, bare minimum, we do the web contest, the web app contest. I mean, we got pretty good numbers for that last year. I want to say it was one of our highest. So I think that's always a pretty good success. And I think our members like voting on that. So
cool. I'll make sure that's done at the bare minimum, and we'll see if we can't get some more stuff organized if time allows.
Okay, perfect. So location of our meeting in January, I tentatively kind of scheduled it in Helena, just given the amount of folks that reside here. I wasn't sure, Michelle, if you've talked to the hotel down in Bozeman. I figured we could probably have one there maybe next summer or something like that. It doesn't seem like our brains are really geared towards 2023 conference yet anyway. So I just wanted to throw it out there. If we want to do it in Helena, we wouldn't require it to be an in-person one. So, I mean, the folks that, especially the two out in Billings, I mean, we certainly wouldn't make you drive to Helena, but.
Well, that's very considerate.
Yeah, and Jeff, as soon as you guys know what dates you might want to do that in Bozeman at the Grand Tree, just let me know, and I'll certainly reach out to him.
Yeah, I mean, given that it's January, I mean, I certainly would like to have it at a central location. Helena is somewhat central, and most of us already live here anyway. So I mean, I can see both ways of having it in Bozeman at the Grand Tree, or in Helena. So I would probably just leave it up to you guys. I don't think we really had much of a consensus the last time we talked about it, but.
I will throw out that I can get space here at Park County as well if Livingston works better. It's a little closer to Billings, but that's also an option if that works for folks.
Don't use me as a. I mean, I'm willing to move or not move, but go to wherever we need to, wherever we need to have it at. So.
Okay. I mean, I say we have it in Helena. I mean, I'm not just saying that just to be convenient, but, but yeah, like I said, I could see having it in Bozeman would be nice as well. I don't know if any of you else have opinion on it or not.
I like Helena because then I can maybe sneak up for a night ski at Great Divide.
There you go.
Is that meeting an overnight thing?
No, it would just be during the day. I think I was talking to Jason about it. I think we were just going to do it like 10 to 2, and 2 might be a little too long, but and in the past, Magup's paid for at lunch, a lunch for it. So then we would typically order ahead, just so it was delivered and we wouldn't have to go anywhere. So yeah, it would be one of the board member perks of having an in-person meeting and having lunch provided. So. Oh, it looks like Aaron joined us. Hi there, Aaron.
Hi, I was going to chime in. I didn't want to interrupt. Oh, my video's not on. What was the? Was there any advantage to having it in Bozeman over Helena, or were you just kind of discussing who's closest and why that is better and whatnot?
Well, I mean, I think if we were to have it in Bozeman, we would have it at the Grand Tree, just because
Yeah.
our conference is going to be there.
Oh, so just to kind of check it out, scope it out.
Yeah.
What have you? Yeah. Okay. I'm also pretty ambivalent about either or. But yeah, either one is good for me.
Okay. Looks like we can actually vote on things. Do we want to make a decision on the quarterly meeting, or I can just make it part of the survey and majority will win? Give Helena and Bozeman the 2 options or something.
Good for a vote.
Okay. Why don't I just do that since we plan on already approving the minutes and reinstating the local government and appointing Tommy as the chair off air anyway, just to save a little bit of time. So I'll just put it all in a survey and send it out to you guys. So, but let's go through the reports just so we can get through most of everybody. Nate, just go ahead with the treasurer's report.
Yeah. So everything so far is up to date with Wells Fargo, and I worked with Jeremy to update the registered agent on the Secretary of State's website. And Jeremy was able to do it on his end, which avoided a $20 filing fee, which was nice. Yeah, other than that, business as usual.
Okay. Thanks, Nate. Rob, I think you're on now. Scholarships and grants.
Yeah. Hey, wow, that's interesting timing. I apologize for being late.
That's okay.
So anyway, here I am. Not a whole lot new to report on that front. I do have some other business to report. But one thing I'll say, one of my committee members, John Hoagland, he is mentoring some students in the computer science department right now. And I think we will see a little bit of a shift in the type of students that we're going to get for applications this year. The geography department has basically imploded, and I think there's only 2 geography professors left, and geography got absorbed into forestry, and those professors have been moved into different departments within forestry. So there's going to be an interesting shift. But so some of these students that John is mentoring, they're building a raster data visualization interface. And so he's having them interview potential stakeholders. So I interviewed them, or they interviewed me this week and asking questions about what some features people would be looking for in this type of a viewer. And I thought that was kind of a neat way to go. Interviewing stakeholders on what the product is, what they'd like to see. Beyond that, I don't know if I have time for any other business later. If so, I'll mention something later, but if not, I'd like to say something right now. If there's time for that.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I don't know, at the retreat, I mentioned to some of you I was helping to develop this trail across Montana. And as part of that, we just forged an agreement with OnX, and we're going to partner with them, and we're going to make that official, and do some news releases on that. As part of that, the founder of this trail organization, he's got a radio station in Great Falls, and he would like to interview me. So I've become a board member of that organization, and I provide some of the GIS support and in working with OnX. And he'd like to interview me as part of, the life of a GIS professional, my involvement with Magip, and my professional employment with the Forest Service. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, see how you felt about it, and if there are maybe some talking points about Magip that you all think I should make during the radio program.
That's pretty cool there, Rob. We definitely should share this with the membership once it's complete. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So maybe in the next week or so, we could think about some talking points that we would like to, like to get on air. So, I'll definitely be talking about, the MSDI and how data that's produced at the state library and elsewhere gets consumed by OnX to create a whole additional industry, let alone providing for recreation and other opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would mention probably that we have, an annual conference, and it's a good opportunity for members to get together every year and collaborate. And obviously there's training, workshops and presentation opportunities. So just going through some of the Magip member benefits too. So would be some good talking points.
Yeah, that's great. Jeff, maybe you and I can communicate and just get a couple bullets out later this week.
We certainly can.
Okay.
Okay, Steve, you're up next, member development.
Not terribly much to report there. We got a meeting on the calendar for salary survey discussion to kind of flesh that out and get the report going. Let's see, that looks like that's next Thursday at 9 if anyone wants to participate. And then other than that, I'm going to get going on GIS Day stuff. And sorry I missed you guys all at the retreat. It sounds like it was a good time.
Yeah, Steve, you were missed, so it was a good time.
Steve, are you going to send out info on that meeting and let me know if you need help putting it on the website?
I can send you.
Jeff sent out invite.
Yeah, I can send it to you, Meg. I just kind of kept it small, but we can certainly. If you wanted to participate.
I guess it was just. Is that supposed to only be for board members?
I wouldn't. I guess I don't have a preference if it's on the website or not. You're talking about in that committees thing,
right?
It doesn't matter to me. I'm not sure if anybody looks at those, but.
Well, I guess just depending on if you're having quarterly committee meetings, you should post them on the website, even if nobody goes.
Yeah. I guess that could count as a quarterly meeting, but.
If it isn't, then, and this is just an internal thing, that's, we're just be internal.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we were kind of trying to keep it somewhat internal, just so we can kind of get the results fleshed out before people are looking at it, who might be wanting to use it.
Oh, got it. Yeah, sounds good.
You're certainly welcome to join us there, Megan, if you want to help.
Yeah, Yeah. Or anyone else for that matter.
Yeah, I was kind of interested in looking at some of it. But in what capacity do you need assistance doing there, Steve?
I think more just kind of putting eyes on it, maybe assigning just kind of short write-ups about some of the results. Was kind of what I was thinking, because right now we have more or less most of the statistics figured out. It's more just kind of evaluating them and summarizing them for the report.
Yeah, that was my envision too. And we talked about it a little bit at the retreat as well. But yeah, I think if we have 3 or 4 or 5 people, we can just kind of divvy up write-ups, and I think it would make the report much smoother to essentially generate. So
Yeah, I'd be game for any write-up that you might need assistance in.
okay, I think I sent you the meeting invite, but I can resend it to you again. But yeah, it's next Thursday at 9.
Cool. Yep. Thanks.
Yep, no problem. Phoebe is absent. I think Michelle will probably pick up some of the conference report later. So Jason, technical.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, we had a good, I guess, initial workshop meeting last week with a few of us, Jeff and Nate. Jeffrey Sprock from Billings attended as well. Kind of a good overview of what we spoke about at the retreat. We've got a good list kind of started so far of anticipated workshops. I've got a large to-do list to follow up with a lot of folks regarding interest for 2022. We've got a lot of brainstorming ideas for what we want to see. And we did talk about, sending that survey out to the membership just to get an idea of what folks are interested in. That way it'll guide us to making, who we want to reach out to. There was, let's see, one of the interesting topics of conversation last week was just the recent interest, I guess, of enterprise GIS, and we're going to try to reach out to maybe a local database analyst to speak about trials and issues that they ran into. So our initial thought was maybe reaching out to Tara Preston, who has transitioned from positions, but she was a great wealth of knowledge regarding that. So that's an idea as well. But essentially, that enterprise administration. We've got some ideas with Eric Pimpler, David Howes. We can reach out to them just to gauge their interest. Jeff shared last week that Eric and David are both attending the Northwest GIS conference, and I think I sent Jeff the link to the workshop page. But it does look like there are a lot of pretty unique options there, and something that some of the same topics that we may be interested in for 2022, including arcade and obviously the intro to pro and advanced pro, etc. So I think really the next step for the committee is I've got multiple folks I need to reach out to. We will coordinate a survey, likely through survey 123, to gauge that interest. And and then from there we'll probably have a meeting within the next couple weeks again, just to follow up with folks and determine the direction. We have 4 rooms available. One of the key, 4 rooms, 50 spaces in each room, so we'll have plenty of options. A couple things that we need to decide as well is if we want the workshops both Monday and Tuesday all day, or if we are, as the board, if we're planning to, cut that afternoon short on Tuesday, and potentially, have a keynote and member meeting and stuff that day as well. So that's one of the things that we'll have to discuss and kind of confirm as we get closer to deciding some of these workshops. I did speak with Megan as well, just regarding laptops and stuff, and it sounds like that might be an issue as far as Magip being able to provide a massive amount like we have historically. Those get out of date. So many folks are working remotely in a hybrid work environment. So I think if we did some of these workshops, we'd have to highly encourage folks to bring those laptops, bring their own laptops. So yeah, we have multiple things to consider. I've got, like I said, I've got a large to-do list here that we'll begin working on, and yeah, like I said, we'll hopefully within the next week or two we'll have a follow-up meeting, and we have about 8 or 9 dedicated folks on the workshop planning committee. So.
Okay, thanks there, Jason.
Yeah. Thanks for that link, Jeff. Jeff sent that link to the Northwest GIS
Yep.
workshops page here. So yeah, some good options there that we can consider for 2022 as well.
Yep.
Are they going virtual? I think they were.
Yeah, they're virtual.
In person,
virtual.
But they switched it to virtual now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was supposed to be in Washington, so Washington's probably one of the most shut down states. So, because they kind of rotated around the Northwest. I think it was supposed to be in Boise last year, but I think it is kind of circling back to Boise in 2023 or maybe 2022, because Boise wasn't able to hold the 2020 conference. So, okay, all right, thanks, Jason. Megan, anything with the web?
Hello. First, I'm sure you've seen this, but Wild Apricot, our new pricing for our plan goes into effect on November 19th. So,
how much of a difference is it?
Looks like our current price is $1,728 and our new price is $2,052. And that's a year.
Interesting. Yeah, so we probably didn't have that built into the budget, but yeah, something we'll probably have to be looking at in the future. But it's probably the best option out there, isn't it, Megan? I mean, I don't think
a lot of the other, like Northwest GIS, they just went to it. There's quite a few others that, and pretty much. Yeah. I wouldn't say we couldn't switch, but
it'd be
we're pretty invested in this.
Yep.
We were grandfathered in on that old price plan for quite a while. They've built a lot of new functionality into their system. And
I was just going to mention that.
Especially more in the last probably 6 months too. I don't know if you've seen any of their emails about rebranding, and they've bought some additional companies, but we've been able to do like all of our billing stuff through them instead of separately. We don't need to pay for the security certificate for our HTTPS. That's built into this site, so that's not separate. So there are some things that we can take advantage of that we are now, but I think there's additional things that we could look at. So there's that. And then I did get the save the date onto the main rotating screen on the main web page. I did just put a thing out there about the planning committee, and then if you go to the conference page, there is a save the date on there. And so whenever you want any assistance with adding things in there, just let me know. Like, I don't know where you are with the prospectus for the sponsors. I can help out with that.
The one thing I did notice, and I wasn't sure if that was you or Michelle, so I guess I do appreciate adding those conference planning dates in there. The one thing I did add into one of the tags is well, I think it was actually changing the conference tag because I think it still had professional development. So I did change that, and then all of them showed up.
Perfect.
Yeah. So. So yeah, I think other than that, yeah, the save to date looks good on the website. So, and I'll push that out to social media. I've been forgetting to do that. So. Okay. All right. Thanks, Megan. Eric, with MLIAC.
I don't really have anything to report, I don't think. We just did have our initiation, if you will, of members, of the new members. I haven't even, and I don't think there was much of a business meeting involved with that. It was just more of a, here's what we do, here's what MLIAC does, welcome to the team, to some of the new members. It was nice, and someone did point it out, it was nice that we actually have some representatives from the utility side of things, I think.
Oh, nice.
From private side of things. So,
yeah. So Eric, are you GIS professional rep now?
Apparently, yes. Contrary to what the letters from the governor's office said to me, according to what Jenny said and what Aaron has said, they were told that I am underneath that professional GIS representation.
Do you know who the other one is? Because I didn't see it on their website. I wasn't sure if it was coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall. No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so because Rob was the other GIS professional rep, right? It was Molly and Rob, right?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So there should be another one coming.
Yeah, and I don't know if their site's been updated yet.
Okay. Yeah, and I see Ken Miller. They appointed Ken Miller. I don't know if he hasn't been on there previously, has he? Or it's been a while?
Probably been a while.
Yeah. So, because I think so it was Ken and Lee for local governments, right?
Yeah, I know Lee at least, but I don't know about any of the others.
Okay, let me see if I can pull up the MLIAC and I'll put it in the chat.
Sorry.
Yeah, and so I think you guys have your big meeting coming up in November, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I could have it MLIAC page open as well.
Okay, I will paste this in the chat for them. Oh, Bill Bullock is another one, local government rep. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of new faces on here for sure.
Yeah.
So it'll be good to collaborate with them though.
Local government representative. I wonder who Bill. Yeah, I don't know Bill.
Yep, I'm still, yes. I'll have to ask.
With Bill? I'm not familiar with Bill. Where's he? It says a Helena, Montana, but.
His email is Carbon County, so maybe Red Lodge.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I see that.
I don't think he's
a
member. Curious if we have anything on him in Magip. Nope, nothing. Okay, well that's interesting. I'm looking forward to November's meeting though, just meeting everybody and
Ken Miller. Ken Miller's a local government. Yep. So.
Yeah, it's good to see some new faces though for sure.
Yep. Yeah, meeting. Yeah, you're right. We are set for
the 18th.
18th.
Yep. No, November. Yep.
And they're still doing those virtually, right?
As far as I know, yeah. Looking like that one is still. Yeah, it looks like it's still there's going to be a login. Registration is not available yet, so yeah, I'm not seeing a location yet for that either. So But yeah, we've been doing virtual, so I guess it all depends on what's going on with everyone there. So.
Okay. Okay, Eric. Yeah, just keep us posted if anything changes with that, or if you have any more information, just feel free to pass it along to us.
Will do.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
Okay. Thank you.
Michelle, administration.
Yes, so we had you guys might have already touched on this when I had to step out for a minute, but we had a initial conference planning meeting, and I just jotted down some notes from that. We were talking about sending out a survey if the board agrees, just kind of getting kind of like we did before, just to gauge a pulse on how many people might be able to attend in the spring. We figured we'd probably get a lot of I don't knows, but just kind of sending out that initial survey to the listserv and to the database. And then having the board and committee give us ideas for a theme and trying to have that decided on by our next meeting so that we can tie that into our tracks. Talked a little bit about the keynote speaker and just deciding what message we want to deliver and when we want the keynote to be delivered. Talked about possibly doing it Tuesday afternoon or evening. Phoebe's going to create a list of pros and cons for a hybrid option, so we can review that. We'll be confirming.
That's out there already.
Oh, did she already get that out there? Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, she put it in the Google Drive.
Yeah, no, Google Docs, I think. Hybrid option.
Okay, well, I can ask her to send me where she put it so I can access it as well.
Yeah, I got it in Google Docs. That's how I got it.
Okay. All right, and then we'll be confirming the track chairs. And we talked about the sponsor exhibitor prospectus, and Megan, I am making some updates to that, and then I'll send it to all of you to review one more time. And then once we have it finalized, we can ask you to post that on the webpage, which was another thing I had on my notes, is to have you put the dates and everything on, but you've already done that. So thank you for that. We also talked about having the summit maybe on Thursday or Tuesday afternoon, and then really defining what that Tuesday evening event is, whether it's public community night or if it's more of a industry specific internal event. Talked about the awards a little bit, and then possibly adding in some information sharing or roundtables or discussion groups for about an hour, just more informal kind of table topic type sessions with a dedicated time and space, possibly on Thursday afternoon. And I think that was it. And then tomorrow I'm actually meeting with MCAT, that streaming, the ones I told you about that's free for up to 12 hours. So I'm meeting with them tomorrow, and they'll actually be streaming the conference I'm working on this week that's happening Thursday and Friday. So I'll take some notes on that, let you guys know how that goes, if I feel like that's a viable option or not. But other than that, I'm just trying to help get the Wells Fargo stuff squared away. That's about it. And it looks like we had about 7 or 8 member renewals in the past month.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
Okay, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Does anyone have anything else?
Who was going to do that survey? Because that's, if we're going to try to decide on a theme, I mean, by the next meeting, the next meeting's in early November.
I was actually just going to send an email out to everybody and say, throw out some ideas.
Well, yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, and probably include the chairs on there too, or the the co-chairs, Michelle.
Yes, we'll do.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll talk about the awards maybe next month. But I mean, since we kind of restructured our committees, we don't necessarily have. I mean, and I don't know if we've really addressed it since we haven't given an award since 2020. Well, shoot, I think the last award ceremony we had was like 2018. So, and it was under the professional development committee at that time. So, I mean, we can talk about it next month. But I figured maybe if either member development or conference committee, or maybe we can just have the two committees kind of collaborate on it too. So either way, and I can send you some information on that there, Steve, and I'll loop in Phoebe as well. So. Okay.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead there, Tommy.
I heard Eric say something. Sorry, I was in 2 meetings at once. I heard Eric say something about November 18th. That's per the survey. Thursdays at 2:00 in the afternoon were the best for the local government special interest group meetings. What meeting was on the 18th, and should we basically for the November local government group?
That was the EMLIAC one, and I think
that's November 18th.
Yep.
Yeah, that was EMLIAC. That's what we were referring to.
Yeah, and they only have it like once every 4 months, and I think outside the council, I don't know if they get much participation. So, yeah, I don't know, and I don't even know if they have it on. I don't know. Is it 18th on a Wednesday, or I think it's no, it's Thursday. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily put that as a criteria point, but yeah, good question though.
Okay, thank you.
Were you wanting to first meet in November then? Is that kind of what your plan is there, Tommy?
Yeah, November 18th. Unfortunately, we're coming into holiday season, so it's going to be kind of a hit and miss for the next 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah, I'll send out a survey to the board so we can officially get that on the books. But yeah, probably plan on, if you're wanting to do something in November, probably start planning for it now. So.
Yep. Beautiful.
So. All right there, everyone. So sorry we went a little long. So, and I'll get that survey out to everybody so we can approve some of our board business. So. Talk to you guys all later.
Thanks, Tom.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Yep.
Jeff.
Yeah,
Yeah, bye.
See you, Rod.